Jacoby. We are Jalen Jacoby. What is it that we do?
We give the people what they want.
We have another duo that gives the people what they want coming on the show later. I am talking about the godfathers of the versus battle movement, Swizz Beatz. Timberland joining us in a moment, but first we have to preview two conference championship games on Sunday. We start with the 3 o'clock game on Sunday, the NFC Championship game between two legendary quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Let's first start with Rodgers. What do you expect from the leader of the pack?
I expect Aaron Rodgers to send a message. That's what I expect. He knows that everybody considers Tom Brady the GOAT, not necessarily because he's more talented. It's because he has more rings. He knows people consider Patrick Mahomes the best quarterback in the game. They do commercials together. He's here to upset the apple cart and remind us of his greatness. That's why he's going to win MVP, because all of the things that Patrick Mahomes is doing right now, throwing sidearms and outside of the pocket, making defenses look crazy, Aaron Rodgers been doing that. He's out to prove it this weekend.
He's been doing that since Mahomes was in high school, and this is going to be a big game for Rodgers. But you've been on this narrative all season long. Ever since they drafted Jordan Love, you've been saying everybody says that Aaron Rodgers need more weapons, but he just so happens to have two of the best weapons in the entire league. Who are we talking about?
Well, because the media get lazy. Like, you don't want to watch all of the Packers games, and you want to give Rodgers all of the credit when they lose and then blame his supporting cast when they give Rodgers all the credit when they win and blame his supporting cast when they lose. And those people must not be paying attention that Devontae Adams is one of the top receivers in the entire NFL. Aaron Jones is one of the best running backs in the NFL. Matt LaFleur, their head coach, is one of the best offensive minds in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers has that. And you know what else Green Bay has? A backup quarterback. Because you might need it when you have an older guy that might get injured. Things happen in the NFL season. We saw Philadelphia win the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. So therefore, if you're the Packers, you made sure that you got cover in case something happens to Aaron Rodgers.
Now, of course, we have to talk about Tom Brady, and I do want to talk about Tom Brady. I want to point something out about Tom Brady's performance. There's two different Tom Bradys leading this Tampa Bay offense. There is the Tom Brady when he gets pressure and the Tom Brady when he doesn't. Look at the difference in his performance in the wins versus the losses. Look at the pressure percentage, okay? When you keep him without getting pressured, 14%, they win. But when they get up to 27%, they lose. There's two different Tom Bradys in this game. However, I think that this offensive line for the Bucs will keep Tom clean and allow him to operate. Do you think that Green Bay can get at Tampa Bay Tom?
I think that's the job. And the beautiful thing about knowing that Tom Brady's going to be playing quarterback is you know where he'll be, in the pocket. You ain't got to worry about him scrambling. You ain't got to worry about him bootlegging. You ain't got to worry about running. The only thing you got to worry about him doing is a goal line sneak. Other than that, it's picking you apart. But the problems for the defense is they got weapons on weapons on weapons. He went there to play with Evans and Godwin, and then they picked up Gronk. Then they picked up Fournette. And then they picked up AB, who's currently questionable. So Tampa Tom has the opportunity to do something extremely special. Lift the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the Super Bowl.
You know what? This isn't the only Battle of the Bay that we've had this winter. Of course, I have to give a nod to E40 and Too Short and their versus battle. Don't forget, we have Timberland Swizz Beatz coming on later in the show. Well, another team that has a lot of weapons. Oh, I don't know, not just Tampa Bay. Oh, the Kansas City Chiefs. We know Mahomes is going to play. But who does he have to throw the ball to?
Where Mahomes?
Where they at?
In fast forward, you see Tyreek Hill, the cheetah, out there. In fast forward, you see Travis Kelce amongst the lead leaders in yards, They're always getting touchdowns. I'm not even talking about the other weapons they have like Hardman and Watkins, and in the backfield, the rookie Clyde. They even have Le'Veon Bell. If Mahomes is healthy, Jacoby, you probably won't have to worry about jumping through the table, because you bet if the Buffalo Bills won that you would do so. But I can't front. I'd rather see you jump through a table.
Well, Mahomes is not going to be 100%. Like, we have the concussion protocol, which we know he's going to get through, but that toe is a big deal. His left toe seems to have like a turf toe issue. He won't be at 100%, but Mahomes has done magical things his entire career. But when we talk about weapons and people to throw to, everybody talks about Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. And Stephon Diggs has had an amazing career, arguably the best receiver production in the league this year. However, he's got other players to throw to. That's John Brown right there. Knox, the tight end. He's got Cole Beasley, who just seems to always be open. This isn't a Stephon Diggs or bust sort of an offense. And one thing about Brian Dable, he ain't run the ball. He doesn't run the ball. He's like, you know what? We can't run the ball. I'm not going to try. I'm not even going to try. So if they can spread the ball around and move the ball, even in a shootout or not a shootout, I still believe the Bills will win this game, and I will jump through a table when they do. The Bills are winning on Sunday, and I'm going to jump through a table on Monday. Stay tuned for that. What's wrong, Ms. Rose?
The only thing is, you said that they don't run the ball. And if you're going to beat Mahomes and KC, that's kind of the formula. Ball control, run the clock, and get some yards from your running backs. To not run the football basically the entire first half, that doesn't bode well for a team that's going to be playing without Moss this weekend.
Well, the Chiefs have a defender that just seems to be everywhere. You try to run to the edge, he's standing there. You try to throw, he's knocking the ball down. What defender am I talking about?
You know I have my guys in sports, and I know we're supposed to be objective, but I remember when he was balling at LSU, and he was a Heisman Trophy candidate, and then he had some personal issues, made some bad decisions, and reinvented himself. And you look back at the footage all of the time of this show, I'm like, the honey badger, the honey badger, the honey badger. I even gave him props for people taking his haircut, because the dude is physical. You know how much I love defensive backs? He plays like a safety, he can cover like a corner, he hits like a linebacker, and he can rush the passer. And he makes winning plays. See, some guys cause a fumble, some guys get an interception. It seems like he does it when it matters the most. So that's the guy your Buffalo Bills better be paying attention to this weekend.
You know, when the ball carrier goes down, the camera seems to like tighten up a little bit. Number 32 is in the shot, whether it's 5 yards in the backfield or 50 yards downfield. Number 32 is in that frame every single time the ball carrier goes down on the other offense. He is an absolute monster back there, and would expect him to have a big impact this weekend in the AFC Championship game. Big game between two great teams in both of these conference championships. We had a big game between two great teams last night in the NBA when the Bucks and the Lakers faced off. It was the Lakers and LeBron getting the win. What do you take away from this matchup?
I took away LeBron's season high and how last season the Bucks were the favorites to win the East, and they got upset with the back-to-back MVP and Giannis. Now they seem further, not closer, to winning the East. Now that you see what's happening with the Nets as they add James Harden to go with KD and Kyrie. And so LeBron James, to me, it seemed like he was trying to put a nail in their coffin. It was like, I remember y'all used to be contenders, and I saw Morris trying to get guys not to shake hands at the end of the game, trying to be old school. And I'm looking at the TV like, dog, it don't work like that. AD went right over there to his brother, Drew. You got Antetokounmpo brothers playing on both teams. I know what you was trying to do, but you just can't do it in today's game, dog.
That's fair. He's like the guy they're putting in mid-court for the COVID protocol. Morris like, COVID. No, we can't shake hands. COVID. I know it's your brother, but COVID. LeBron James didn't just do it with passing the ball and the assist. He didn't just do it with scoring in the clutch. He was 6 for 10 from 3, and also KCP was 7 for 10 from 3. See, LeBron had contested threes. KCP had wide open threes. He's really unlocked this part of his game, Jalen. What do you think he will continue to develop this three-point and add that to his arsenal, that little sidestep one that he has?
It's all about rhythm. And here's the thing. LeBron James is virtually unguardable, but players like me, be a bug on a windshield, like today, Kobe Bryant's 81-game anniversary. You get a chance to go against these great players. So here's one thing. that I want to show you. Play that LeBron James highlight again. If you're coaching against him, here's what you got to do. You got to get up on that right foot when he do that right dribble. Because he does like this uncomfortable step with his right foot that you got to be up on that and force him now to be a driver. Look at his final step with that right foot when he's at the top of the floor. Top of the floor to the left side. If you get up on that right foot, I think you have a better chance of defending that play, but this guy's virtually unguardable.
Impossible to defend. It is worth noting that while the Lakers are rolling, Anthony Davis quietly has not scored 20 points in 5 straight games. Now, he had a bunch of assists in this one, so I'm not necessarily concerned about it. 6 assists is good for a big man. Is this something to be concerned about if you are the Lakers and AD, who kind of expected an MVP caliber season from?
Well, how about this? When James Harden goes 5 straight games and doesn't score under 20, then he goes to another team and averages basically 30-point triple-doubles. This situation is vastly different, but they're a lot alike, and here's why. James Harden started this season with the Rockets. AD started his career with the Pelicans. They both saw, as all NBA players, that they couldn't win the championship necessarily as the best player on those situations. This is why you go to LA. Because now even if you go 5 straight games without scoring 20, you still got LeBron James to carry the load.
Jalen, 2 individuals started a brand, started a movement that carried us through the pandemic summer. Do you remember how depressing it was? How we're all quarantined inside? And it was these 2 gentlemen from Pier 17 in the South Street Seaport and brought to you by Heineken. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen, these 2 gentlemen joining the show right now. These 2 kings, these 2 legends, these 2 people that brought us the versus battle during the pandemic. Joining the show right now, it is Swizz Beatz and Timbaland. Welcome to the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Zone.
I just want to say out loud what you 2 have done for our species worldwide during one of the most difficult times that we've ever faced as a species. You guys brought us the Versus events, little shines of light during the dark days. I first want to say thank you and want to say, do you even understand the impact that you have had on the world and the culture through this project?
Man, it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing. My partner, Tim, all of the fans, all of the creatives that, took time out to give back during this particular time. And it's been a love fest.
Well said. A love fest. And it's been a love fest.
As fans of both of you guys, you both are terrific artists, producers, performers. But in going into versus, you have to create potential matchups. So I'll start with you, Tim. What is the thought process that goes into picking who gets a chance to face off in the versus?
Well, that's the beauty about this. I have a great curation partner by the name of Swizz Beatz. So putting both our heads together, by putting both our heads together, we kind of it's the best collaboration, because that's what we're doing. We're creating a great really playlist and a mood for the night. And when me and Swizz sit down and talk about it, we kind of like go over the songs and think about this will be good. People want to see this, and just from years of DJing and just making music, really help us kind of curate the playlist.
Absolutely. You guys give the people what they want. And one of the things I've noticed, I think it was Beanie Man and Bounty Killer was the first sort of when they were both in the same place at the same time. And I've noticed that you guys sort of create environments for the artists to do their thing into. And Swizz, I'll ask you first, what do you consider when sort of building the vibe and the scene and the set?
Well, one is the artist character that we're dealing with. The other is giving the audience something exciting to see. Last night, we had a big one with the ladies, and that was bringing them back in separate locations due to COVID restrictions and things like that we have to follow. But we want to keep it open. Sometimes we're going to bring people together. Sometimes people want to be in their own space. But it's our job to curate to the artists whatever the artists want. We're open-minded to all of it.
So I can't front. I love being on television every day, but I really love the versus battles. And I spend more time trying to put together battles than I do prepare for this show. Since I have both of you guys on the show, one at a time, because I want to get both of your opinions. I want to pitch you guys a couple of versus battles. The first one is a crossover. I haven't seen a gentleman versus a lady yet. How about Busta Rhymes versus Missy Elliott? Terrific writers, performers, and entertainers with amazing longevity. I want to start with you, Timbo, because I know your relationship with Missy. What are your thoughts on that one?
You know, I now, you know, at the beginning, like me and Swiss, we kind of know who fits. We kind of already kind of played with that. But I believe now, like, no versus is impossible. I just believe it's about timing. And now that you bring it up again, it is, to me, the best party that could ever happen on versus. You know, it's just a matter of comfort zone of my sister, you know, wanted to celebrate with her brother, you know, and understand that it's not competition, it's a party, you know what I'm saying? So I've been working on that and talking to her, but I think that will be an amazing versus. And you're absolutely correct. Those two are amazing together. And that's something I would like to see.
What are your thoughts on that one, Swiss?
Well, as far as the ladies versus gentlemen, my wife, Alicia Keys, went with John Legend. A lot of people didn't really see that one because that was the first time we switched over to Apple, showing it on Apple. But that one right there was, if you go back and look at that one, it was a very classic one, very classy. It was at a time where we needed that hug, we needed that comfort. But going back to Missy and my brother Busta, I wish it was a bright idea, but the whole world wanted to see that. We wanted to see that from day one. But the thing that people don't understand with versus is that the artists have to be in the right mindset. They have to, you know, they're curators as well, you know, so one artist might want to get their songs ready. One artist might want to get their video ready. So things that we think that's not going to happen start to happen because when they come back and say, you know what, I want to do it now. I just wanted to get my album ready. I just wanted to get my video ready. I just wanted to get my look ready. So we are very patient to all of the artists. But we definitely would love Queen Missy Elliott and King Busta Rhymes on that stage. I mean, they know each other very well. And but the people are putting this together. You brought this up to us. We didn't say anything, right? So this is something that the people has been asking for, and hopefully they'll see this and have quicker thoughts.
What about this next one? And I'm going to start with you, Tim. Usher versus Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake, yes, we know. It's so funny. Drake hit me up too about it too. He said, we gotta make that happen. We gotta make that happen. I'm like, soon to come. I think that'll be great. I think all these matchups that you're saying are groundbreaking. And you know, like Swiss said, we don't pressure nobody. The fans say it, people are saying it, and timing is everything. And usually a lot of people who told us no actually tell us yes, but it's all about timing and comfort zone and just, you know, you put it out there. I'm glad you put it out here on the show. So the universe will make its rounds and they'll come back to us.
Hey, Swiss, what about this one? Because I know I want to talk to you guys about this amazing NFL partnership you guys have coming up. What about No Limit Records versus Cash Money?
He's on point.
Look, you saying all the top.
Yeah, I'm in the group text. Y'all didn't know it, huh?
Look, if Gucci Mane and Young Jeezy could do it, anybody could do it. You understand? Well, anybody could do it. Well, you know, Versus is a platform where we could put our differences aside and make it about the fans and make it about music and make it about love. You know, and plus, like, you know, we in a different day and age where we got to show the youth how to celebrate, and it's an educational celebration, right? So a lot of people that didn't know certain artist songs, they're just now learning. These kids wasn't born yet when these songs were out, so now they're getting a front row at the show from these artists, and they get to relive that. And I think that a lot of the artists that may have their differences should think about this and make it more about themselves and make it more about the people while getting their gardens as well. So I would love to see No Limit. I would love to see, Cash Money. I mean, they both created a timeless sound that people are still pulling from today. They're still pulling from the No Limit sound. They're still pulling from the Cash Money sound. We can go through, hundreds of songs, even recent ones. And so to see those two on stage, woo, New Orleans, baby.
You guys talk about all these great partnerships, and I can't think of a better partnership than the Versus brand and the NFL. Swizz, we'll start with you. What can you tell us about this fresh announcement, breaking news, Versus and the NFL doing something for the Pro Bowl? What is that?
I think that it's a great, a lot of people just want to keep you in one box. Versus was always a platform that wanted to move left, right, up or down, whenever. Yes, it started with music, but we want to do Versus Sports, which this is the intro for. We want to do Versus Comedy. We want to do anything that's bringing people together and celebration and making the competition a little fun. We want to have the Versus stamp on that. So we super appreciate the NFL, Verizon, the whole entire team for this. Pro Bowl time.
Well, we'll be looking out for that. We'll be looking out for all the Versus battles, as we always do. We talk about all of them on this program, and we just want to thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you. And you can get exclusive content with Timberland and Swizz Beatz on our podcast. Make sure you check for that and check.